started the recording. So we are good to go. And thank you everyone for joining the demo session for the agentic automation using UiPath. And this is going to be our batch 3. So we are starting with our third batch to start with the agentic automation. Before I start something or before I proceed something, I just would like to know from you all that how many of you already have experience on UiPath. If you can raise your hand, that will be really great. Who has already learned UiPath or already working on UiPath for a couple of years, at least 1 or 2 years experience? Cool, quite a good number. So yeah, please lower your hands. Thanks for your response, guys. So yeah, so this is the right place for or right one to choose, because if someone asks me or someone reaches out to me that hey, I'm interested in learning the UiPath agentic. So of course, I'll be getting a new candidate to, yes, please. Yeah. So I'll be getting a new candidate to join. Obviously, I'll be getting a new admission. But what I suggest is that, in case if you doesn't have any experience or the knowledge on UiPath, please go back and cover the basics and then come and join here. Because I believe that you should have the knowledge of having the experience of building automations on UiPath. Might not be required to have an enterprise level experience. It is suggestible, but at least you should have a good or strong knowledge on the UiPath fundamentals, that how to build an automation and how do we run with our automations. So that is going to be your starting point, not the agentic. This is for sure. The reason is uh, to build the agents, no. UiPath automations might not be required because we want to play with the agents and we want to build some funny agents and all. But when it comes to the enterprise, it's not the single agents which we are going to build. When it comes to the enterprise, it's going to be a multi-agent orchestration, or we are going to build multiple agents. So that's where I believe that RPA should be the prerequisite in order to explore the agentic capabilities when it comes to the agentic automation side. So that's one point I just want to make clear to everyone. So in case if you are in hurry and if you want to get into the agentic, and if you doesn't have an exposure to the UiPath, in case if you could able to invest more time in terms of parallelly covering the UiPath with the agentic, is okay, but not that much suggestible. So that's what I feel. And with that, I'm bringing up my screen. Can someone confirm me that you can see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, we can.
Perfect. Thank you. So, well, here we go. The batch 3, the live demo, which we are going to cover on the enterprise grade agents, which we are going to work together for next couple of days, around 4 to 5 weeks, more than 25 hours to learn together, build together, and deploy. Why I say the learn together is that when we are going also, we may come across some new things. So for instance, if you consider my previous batch, which I closed out a couple of days back, so there is something called as UiPath skills, which the UiPath had released in order to integrate with the Cloud Code or any Copilots, which is not there when I was starting the batch. So a week back, the things were got released, and I accommodated even the new concept as well. So in case if some very good new feature is released, something that need to be taken into the consideration, yes, we are going to add that also as part of our curriculum, even if it is not previously added. So that's how our training goes. So that's where I was saying we will learn together. And so this is something that which we built in our last batch. So it's not only a single agent, like where we have multiple agents, which is a use case from the healthcare. So we will be building multiple agents, and we will be going to orchestrate on UiPath Agentic Process, the Maestro, and we will be monitoring from there. So it's not only the building, it's going to be like more of like building, implementing, deploying, and monitoring the execution in the production as well. So we are going to cover from dam zero to entire till the production monitoring as well. So that's how we are going to cover or expand our sessions in terms of the agentic capabilities of UiPath. So to introduce myself, so till now we are talking about like how it was happened on the batch and what we actually covered. Of course, we have a lot of things to cover as we go down the line, but it's time. I think it's the right time for me to introduce myself to everyone. So my name is Patrudu Chintakaila, and I'm working as an architect within a healthcare-based company, and I was recognized as UiPath MVP for 2024, 25, and 26. So it's a 3 years in a row. Continuously, I was recognized as an UiPath MVP. So for those who is not aware of MVP, so the UiPath recognizes a couple of people who is active in the community and holding the strong knowledge on the products. So if you see so if you see hello, I think we are getting some echo from someone. Okay. So it will be like 100 people or like that across the globe. So that's one thing. But the advantage or the major advantage what we are going to get is as an MVP, I'll be getting access to the products, early access to the all the products of UiPath when those were already in the test, not yet released into the public. So I'll be having the advantage of like exploring all the UiPath products or the platforms, whatever they are releasing beforehand itself, before they are coming into the availability, general availability, or the community or the enterprise. So that's the advantage, like where I'll get an advantage of getting an early hands-on. The same way I got early hands-on on the UiPath agents as well. So which we will be discussing. So these are just a list, like because to add, I have more and more, but these are a small list or a fine-tuned list where I just kept few certifications, but I have bit more as well. So I have cleared all the UiPath professional certifications. Nothing was left over. So there is one certification which I haven't even attempted, which is infrastructure related, which the on-prem installation and all. So I haven't touched that. But except that, everything it can be a developer or it can be a test automation test capabilities or the agentic professional or specialized and architect and everything I have clear. And even for the agentic professional on the day one itself and the cloud architect on the day one itself, whenever it is got released. So these are my certifications, and not only me. So the people who actually joined our batch for the first time when the exam is got released, so everyone could able to almost clear the exams, the agentic professional, and because I have done the certification and I'll be having the complete intent of how the exam was designed and what concepts are going to be covered as part of the exam, everything we included as part of our curriculum, and every topic we have covered based on keeping even that also in the mind. Like there are two things uh, which derived our entire curriculum. One is the enterprise readiness for the agentic automation, and the other is certification pack. So both combined is going to be our curriculum. So it is going to be easy. So, and before I proceed further, I just want to show one thing. So it's not something that like on websites or WhatsApp, which I generally have, but something I want to show you from the LinkedIn itself that like, hey, he could able to clear the agentic automation professional. So who joined our batch and covered our topics and all. So that's how, and he's not a small person, like he's in very nice position in terms of the industry and of course in terms of the managerial position. So that's how our course curriculum is designed. So in case if you have any questions on, hey, if I attend your course, am I going to get certified? Yes. In case if you are going to attend each and every session of what we are going to cover, yes, you can. And there are two more things which are hidden in terms of our trainings, like which explicitly will not be available as part of the curriculum. But there are going to be two things like which we are going to cover in terms of like when you want to demo it to the business stakeholders, what are the types of questions you are going to get from business stakeholders and how do we answer to them? So because the agentic is kicking off everywhere, right? So that's the majority of the questions you'll be getting from the business stakeholders on terms of the agent reliability and the cost perspective, or like which is better, RPA or the agentic, or how do we um, demo the things to the business stakeholders. So all these things we are going to cover as part of our curriculum. And not only that, we are going to cover in terms of like some possible interview question and answers as well as part of our curriculum. And end of the course, we are going to give the even the interview question and answers, the scenario based questions or anything, right? In terms of the technical and both technical and the scenario based, how do we answer in case if there was a question on a specific scenario or something, right? So all this we are going to cover as part of our curriculum. So this is going to happen in terms of our training. And just an additional point on me that like when I started with the UiPath Agentic platform. So I started in December 2024 with the Agentic platform. Maybe a lot of people will think that, hey, this is released in 2025. How someone can work for since December 2024 before it is getting released? So that might be a question a lot of people will be getting it. But yes, it's true. I started in the December 2024 working on UiPath Agentic platform, like where we used to build agents in Agent Builder, not in the Studio Web, the legacy version, a very, very old version. So as I said, I'll be getting access to the UiPath capabilities beforehand itself. So I got access to the UiPath Agentic platform in December 2024 itself, and then I immediately started with it. So to be very honest, on the concepts of the Gen AI or the agentic, I was unclear till the time I started with the UiPath. So the entire world is buzzing on the Gen AI, LLMs, and the agentic and the RAG and every concept. I was listening to all the buzzwords which is getting used in the market, but I was unclear about any of the concepts. Though I'm going through a lot of videos or when I'm going through the documentations of different the Gen AI concepts or the frameworks, still I was unclear. But when I got the UiPath agentic platform released, it is released with a very, very minimal capabilities in December 2024 with a very, very base versions. So I think that helped me out in terms of like getting a thorough hands-on or the clear understanding of the concepts. Because I started with a very zero or like very bare minimum product of the UiPath agentic. And then as it is going further, as the tool is getting evolved and matured now, and even I got matured along with it. So in overall, I can say I was experimenting or playing or implementing the agentic capabilities on. So I think I'm getting some echo if someone is unmuting. Can you guys please go on mute? overall, I can say it's 17 months till now. So that's the advantage, or that's the exposure I have towards the UiPath agentic capabilities. The market is completely getting shifted to the agentic side. It's not 100%, but you should be having 100% agentic in your capabilities. So that's how it is going. Not the entire thing will be changed to the agentic, but every developer should be equipped with the agentic. So that's how the things are moving. And if you go through, just for the sake of the name, if you go to any LinkedIn job post or the Naukri job post, so you see the title as UiPath developer or UiPath lead developer. But if you go to the job descriptions, you will be seeing the word of agentic. So by default, every job requirement or every job description now is getting included with the agentic capabilities or the agentic name at least. So that's how the things are moving. And so now every RPA developer needs to have some or the other knowledge on the UiPath agentic capabilities. That's the how the entire market is moving towards. So I think this is the right time when the market is moving. If we got equipped with the agentic capabilities, then we will be in the first line, and that actually adds an additional advantage over the other folks. So that's where we are started with this, and we are successfully running the third batch, starting the third batch for the agentic. So that's how even the market traction we could able to see. Yep. So it's a new certification, the agentic professional, which is released, and obviously it's going to have a high demand and very less people had completed, so you can get into this pool too early, right? And of course, like, you have a lot of YouTube content. Even I have released a couple of videos on the agentic in the YouTube. But what actually differs, so if you see the YouTube videos or anything, right? Like, even if you go to my channel also, it's going to be a very bare minimal basics, like where we will be saying that, hey, we will build your first agent. We'll just explain that, like, how you will be building your first agent. That's it. And we'll explain what is context grounding and asking the questions to the context, whether the agent can return the response or not, right? So very demo agents, that's how we will be building, or we will be giving when it comes to the YouTube or the free content. But what we are going to cover, so ours is not in terms of the tool specific. Of course, we are going to build everything on the UiPath agentic, but when it comes to the concepts, we will not cover only the tool specific. We will be covering in terms of a very clear conceptuals of the agentic capabilities, not only with respect to the UiPath. So we will be talking even the generalized terms of how the agentic or the Gen AI teams actually uses. And we will relate those concepts to our UiPath platform, and then we will implement on our UiPath platform. And it's not only something that, like, hey, let us build this agent or something. And we are going to cover that from the methodology to the production release and the observability and the deployment as well. And in our previous batch, one dedicated session we had only for debugging of the agent. So we intentionally created the issue when we are deploying the agent. And one session is just to identify, fix, and redeploy the agents. So that's how we are going to cover as part of our sessions. It's not only something that, like, hey, I'm building this agent as a happy path and I'm deploying. It will not be like that. What we are going to do is we are intentionally making our agents to fail, and then we will fix the agents, and then we will redeploy them to see how it is working, right? And there is something that, like, in terms of our implementations or the development, actual software development life cycle, you might heard about like test driven development approach. So in the similar way, we will be for using the evaluation driven development for our agents. So it's not only the agents, it's more on the agentic process as well, like multi-agent implementations or the multi-agent collaborations, which we are going to look as part of our course. So we will see this demo after covering a couple of concepts like slides we have, and then we will see the live demo before we wrap up this session. Okay, so what are we going to cover as part of our training sessions? So these are the minimum which we are going to cover. So one is the conversational agent and the other autonomous agent, which we will be getting exposure towards both the chart agent and the unattended agent, which will execute. And we will be building our end-to-end agentic process and deploy it to the Maestro and monitored from the the Maestro as well. So that's how we are going to build. So the use case might be different, might not be the same use case, but in terms of the agents or the end-to-end use case, we are going to cover all the three again. But maybe the use case will change. And when it comes to the conversational agent, it's not like just building and deploying and chatting with it from the UiPath side. It is something which we are deploying onto the Microsoft Teams and the Slack, and we will be chatting from there. So that's how we are going to see. And so very high level, what we are going to see is the initial, we are going to cover very good concepts, or like in terms of the best conceptual foundation, which we are going to build, like the methodology, the life cycle, and also we will be covering on the AI trust layer and how the UiPath Studio Web and the integration services will help us, and how actually those are elevating the UiPath capabilities for the agentic. And to be very honest, even I'm not a big fan of the Studio Web, but because of the agentic, I was supposed to learn the Studio Web as, because the Studio Web, something that like will be building on the browser, but I'm working on UiPath since 2017 or 2016 or 17 on the Studio desktop. So suddenly switching to the Studio Web is also not that much easy for me or anyone. But because of the agentic, I was switched to the Studio Web. So we will be covering even the Studio Web and the integration services, and also we will be covering the context grounding, which the other name is the RAG, where uh, like how we will be supplying the knowledge to the agent and how the real-time context and everything will be managed. And we will be directly start building the conversational agent, but it's not something that like we'll directly build. So we will be covering the concept of the prompt engineering, and then we will write the prompt for this particular conversational agent, and then we will be covering the concept of tools, integrations, and everything. And then we will be implementing that as part of our conversational agent. And then we will be looking at the testing and the debugging of that particular conversational agent when we run it. And then we will see how we will be deploying this agent to the Microsoft Teams or the Slack or UiPath apps. So this is how we are going to learn the concepts while we implement the agents, the real-time agents. And then we will be covering off the MCP servers, and also we will be building some autonomous agent. So when it comes to the autonomous agent, we are going to focus more on the testing of this agentic testing, because the prompt engineering and the tool integrations we already covered in our previous week when we are building the conversational agent itself. But here we will be writing all the prompts, and the tools and everything will be implemented. And once implemented, we will be covering the concepts of the testing of an agent, evaluations of the agents, and how we will be doing a multiple multi-model testing and the multiple options available for the evaluations. And then we will be testing this particular autonomous agent with more and more test data. That's how we are going to cover the autonomous agent. So once these two standalone agents are built, I think now you already have the experience of RPA. Now we are good to go with the end-to-end agentic process. where we will be covering from the BPMN basics and how we will be building the entire master flow and how actually it is going to help us. And then we will be covering the concept of like what we are going to start with and how do we design it, how do we break between the RPA and the agents and how the flow should look like. So everything we are going to design as part of this particular use case in the master components. And also we will cover one session on the coded agent using the LangGraph built on Python, which we will not be using as part of our project, but it's going to be a glimpse for everyone. Like, because in case if you are good with the Python, you can kick off that journey as well. But it's going to be a self-learning, but I'll be keeping it as minimal as possible. And also, it's not something that like I will be explaining and building. It is something that I will be building the agent, the coded agent, by referring to the existing documentation, so that in case if you want to build something new, it will be helpful for you that like how we will be inferencing from the documentation and the building of the coded agent. And even if you doesn't have the knowledge of Python, it's good to have, because there might be some questions around it. So for that reason, we will be covering that concept as well. And then we are going to cover the entire the project end-to-end implementation and the deployments. And also we will have one session on the copilots, like how we will be using the different copilots in terms of like building the UiPath solutions. So this is at a very high level what we are going to cover as part of our 5-day week, 5 weeks, 5-day week. So these are some questions, like hope you will get a clear understanding or the conceptual understanding, and you can even explain to the business users or the tech leaders as well. So these are the some questions like which you will be able to answer once we are good with our once we complete our sessions. So because every question, if you see all the 6 questions, everything is pretty much important when it comes to the enterprise, right? So these questions you will be getting all the answers with the conceptuals. So whatever we are going to cover as part of our sessions. So you'll be you'll be getting answers for everything, and you'll be giving it back to the business, or you can even as a pilot for implementation, agentic implementations in your organization. So that's what we are going to cover as part of our entire 25 days. And what are you going to get, right? So not only the sessions which we are going to cover, we are going to have someone is not on mute. Oh, why I got not able to. Thanks. So along with the sessions which we are going to cover on these days or during the training sessions, along with that, like you'll be getting whatever the solutions we are building. So all the code you are going to get, you can directly import on your orchestrator, but the solutions you'll be getting in delayed. Of course, you'll be getting the session recordings on the same day, and the class notes for each session you'll be getting on the same day, right? And you will be getting the solutions, but it is in delayed because I want you guys to try yourself and then you can import them. And we will be having the live sessions. So, and you will not be getting any certification from me because that will not add any value to you. But in case if you are interested, then you can clear the UiPath Agentic Professional certificate from your end itself, like because we are going to cover each and every concept which required for the UiPath Agentic Professional curriculum. Okay, so what is the conclusion of our entire training sessions? you'll have 3 deployed agents. Rather, I'll say 2 agents and 1 agentic process. Okay. And you'll have the clear understanding of the agentic methodology and how do we architect, how do we implement, and what are the different concepts and what are the different strategies we have. And you'll be ready for clearing the agentic professional certification. So these are the outcomes you can expect out of it. Okay. And we are good to go for the question and answers. Before that, so let me show you a couple of things. So this is the platform where you will be getting access to. Once you join our sessions, you'll be onboarded to this platform and you'll be having access to all the recordings where we will be uploading all of our concepts like module wise and whatever we are building. So if you see here, we are building everything. We will be showing everything here, like whatever we built, and we have our own dedicated platform where we will be having the concepts for the recording and also the class notes, right? And all the resources, whatever we have. So this is something that like where we have given our code as well, and this is the solution, and we have the agent definition documents, and also we have all the resources which we are using, right? Like the prompts, everything we are going to share as part of our sessions, entire solutions, and also the class notes and the whatever is required as part of our sessions, whatever we are covering as part of our training, and all the artifacts will be shared through this particular platform where you can access the platform and go through the recordings and also download the resources. So that's how uh, that you'll be getting access to them. Okay. So we have our help desk agent, which we deployed in our last session. This is from the Microsoft Teams, where like some we can chat with this agent, and this agent can help us to create the help desk tickets in case if there is some already a known issue. It can guide us what steps should we take. So in case if we see here, like it is suggesting, hey, these are the steps which you need to perform before raising the incident and all. So I'll say hello. It's been a long time I used it. So I think I used on 3rd May. Again, now I'm using it. Yeah. Are you experiencing any IT issues or you need any help with service request? Yes, please. I'm facing issue with HRMS portal, which says cannot log in. Please reach out to admin. So I'm pretty sure I'll not be having any uh, article or the knowledge base for this. So it is retrieving the information. Oh, it is having. Okay, nice. Saying that verify identity, reset the password, open the self-service password portal. So it is considering, based on the article, it is an SSO. So that's where it is saying all this. Okay, tried all the suggested steps, but no luck. So we are just starting with the agent, where it is built on the UiPath agentic capabilities as a conversational agent, and the same is got deployed. And if you see the logo also, we could able to customize. Tried all the troubleshooting steps and still cannot log in. I recommend raising an incident so our technical team can investigate. Would you like me to create an incident? Yes, please. Please create an incident. Now it is going to create it. Yeah, it could able to create, and we are good. So let me go here and see if it really created or not. Even I'm not sure because it's been a long time. Yeah, which is got created today, 28th May, HRMS portal login issue. And if you come here, it is giving unable to access, open, whatever the troubleshooting steps which we mentioned that we have tried. So it projected everything. So this is one of the use case which we deployed in our last batch. So yeah, that's more on like what we are going to cover for all these upcoming sessions, and we are open for the questions.
Hey, hi, Pathrudu. Vinod
I
this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for your presentation. Right, I'm like the way you described and the entire session and what you're going to cover is very good, very comprehensive, and really excited to looking forward. Right.
Mhm.
So, couple of questions. So, one thing is like again a bit of understanding the agentic philosophy, right? So basically, like I'm part of Signify and supply chain data analytics and automation, and working as an RPA expert, right? So
Mhm.
I've deployed a lot of RPA. Very complex use cases, right? But when it comes to agentic, right? Let's say we gets a requirement of end-to-end process, it it
Mhm.
it become a bit difficult to like assess whether where what all components the agents be is really required, right? Because
Mhm.
agent comes with the escalated costs, right?
Yes.
Like compared to your RPA, okay. But
Mm.
it's like company also want to focus on the migration to agent, but then they also want to look the cost and benefit, right? So do you think we'll
Mhm.
be able to understand, right? Okay, what use case or how we can make an existing RP use case also into an agentic use case?
See, it's going to be never that like an existing RPA use case will be translated to the agentic. See, that's what I'm trying to say even in the beginning as well. So it's not necessary to be implementing 100% agentic, but you should be equipped with the agentic because if I give an example, in terms of the RPA implementations, we generally do the technical feasibility analysis before we taking up any automations. Correct?
Yeah.
So in that, there will be few gaps we will find that, hey, this might not be possible technically. Something this requires an additional capabilities where the RPA cannot take any decision. And what we will propose is, okay, we are taking this out of the scope, and the rest scenarios we will build this. And now the agent will be coming and sitting into this particular place where we scoped out when we are implementing for the RPA, saying that, hey, this might not be feasible for RPA. So that's how the agentic is going to add an advantage to the existing automations, I can say, in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
business process. And of course, the cost versus the ROI will be considered. Obviously, the business is going to look into that as well. But when it comes to some time sensitive automations or some automations, if they really find it is valuable, then obviously they are going to implement. And for example, I can name out few things that, like, I have rolled out couple of agentic processes.
Mm-hmm.
Not couple, one. The others are POCs because we are not that much at a full speed in terms of the enterprise releases. Something that, like, responding for the customer queries over the email by interacting with multiple internal applications. So the internal applications, everything still remains with my RPA, and
Mm-hmm.
only the email drafting and responding back after fetching all the information we are having in agents. Like, we have two agents. One is to retrieve the information from the received email and checking whether all the information is received or not, and if anything is missing or anything, and what action to be performed next to it. And once the actions are performed, then it will generate an email and respond back onto the customer, right? So previously, we might have some templates and we used to use the regex or something, but when it comes to the customer emails, you will not get in the
Mm-hmm.
same format of all the time, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
your failure scope is too high. So now that failure scope can be reduced. And when it comes to the resolution to the customer services or anything, in case if you could able to bring on this agentic capabilities into that place, which means you're adding a very good user experience. Along with the cost, we need to look at the user experience as well, right? So all this
Yeah,
will be
yeah,
considered. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, and now also this hackathon is going on the agent hack part, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
have participated into that. So
Nice.
do you think I'm like along with this course, it will also help
Yeah.
us in do the simultaneous
Whatever.
development to that and
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever the concepts which we are going to cover, that can help you out for sure.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And for the development part, like we need to use community version, and like will you also guide, right, whether we have appropriate licensing or units available
So
there
there
and
is
yeah.
something called as an enterprise trial as well,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still go with the community edition. And if you see some limitations, yeah, there will be some limitations or slide. So those will not be a showstopper or a blocker to you.
Okay,
Okay. And there is another way or something. I'll check that. So there is some environment also. There are some possibilities as well. I'll check that.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and one final question. So the platform which you have shown that the learning platform,
Mhm.
which you said that it will have a lifetime access, so that we can
I,
access
I I
that.
I didn't
Yeah.
set the lifetime access. So you'll be getting for the next 1 year for sure. That's what I can promise. I will not say
Okay.
lifetime. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Maybe I would have missed it.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't mention it, but it's for
Okay.
1 year.
Yeah. Okay. No. So what I meant to say, right? Let's say, and we have seen that how UiPath is evolving its landscape with respect to the agentic and Maestro quite
Mm-hmm.
often. So if it get some drastic update or something like that. So the existing code might or might not work, right? So will you also update that so that we can import and see it in the updated landscape? So basically,
See,
so yeah, it will get
it, it
updated.
it will
Yeah.
never be that, like, the old code will not work or something.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there will be a backward compatibility or the automatic migration button they will be providing to you. Even
Oh,
like in the legacy agent builder, I have built a lot. And when they
mhm.
move to the studio web, they have done the automatic migration capabilities in place.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Anyone have
Just to
any question?
yeah, just to highlight, like if you have registered with the agent hack, you'll be having access to UiPath Labs where you will not have any restrictions. Where you'll get all the AI units, you'll get all the agent units, you'll have full exposure of all the uh, tools inside the UiPath. So I'm like, you'll have a free hand, no license. I'm like restrictions will be there in terms of dive post, agent hack and all. But again, like if you want to learn something on the community versions and all, yes, there might be limitations, but not hampering us to learn something on the course what we have like defined and all. It works everything what we have drafted as part of a particular course and all.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
just want to
Yes.
reiterate that particular thing.
Yeah, correct.
Exactly. And also like I had a query in terms of fees and all. You can ping me. But like I just want to announce it. Like it's 14,999. So it will be for 30 hours, and you'll be having end to end three. I'm like from basics to advanced, and also we will be covering three different sort of agents. One will be conversational agent, one will be autonomous agent, and one will be a multi-agent solution orchestrated on the Maestro. It will be an enterprise solution. It's not that like you can say that like it's a real time projects you have done. It's not something on the POC level. You have an exposure right from the initial discovery to the final deployments. You will be definitely having a hands on these things and all. And just to add on, like recently we have the coded agents, so we will also be discussing for this new batch 3. We'll be also discussing something on the vibe coding, which will be an add-on sessions. It's not like that will be our core essence. Our core essence will be on the master agents and all these things, but also you'll have an exposure is what actually vibe coding inside your path and all. So what are the external things like Claude, Cursor, or GitHub Copilot? How we can have an exposure to these things? That will be just an add-on, but our major core essence will be something on the agents related to the UiPath platform. Yes, that's what we have. I think we have last 1 minute. If you guys any have any queries and all, you can definitely reach out to me. I'll be available on phone as well as WhatsApp messages. You can just ping me. I'll be there to respond. If you still have any query, I think we can take the last question. I believe it's a more insightful session today. It's just an intro. Like from tomorrow, we will have another day one session. It's not a demo again. We'll be starting from the day one again, and it's only weekday sessions. We just want to reiterate this thing. Hope it's an insightful session
Oh,
today. Yes,
yeah.
Path, you
No,
want
no,
to add?
continue. Continue.
Yep. So I think like you haven't given your intro, or you have given an intro. Path.
I have given my intro.
Okay, then fine, fine. Because like I've missed it in the start. I've just some other work. I've just moving here and there. That's the reason. Anyways, fine then. Path, you want to close, or else like you
Yep.
want to add anything?
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining this demo session. And I would like to see you, everyone, tomorrow. Like, as we will be starting with the concepts from tomorrow itself. Yeah.
Okay then. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. We'll share the record.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.